Let us now look at what AI ethics is and what is the landscape of the topics that are in fields, subfields, if you like, that are studied in AI ethics. AI ethics is a subfield of AI concerned explicitly with the problem of ensuring that when we have AI in our society, we do so in an ethical way. There are basically two approaches to accomplishing or pursuing AI ethics. The first approach is to make sure that there is no negative ethical impact on people, individuals, and society comprised of those individuals when developing, researching, and using AI. The other approach is to enable machines to reason about their own ethical choices. That is, the approach to treat moral reasoning just as any other cognitive task that AI is automating, and to understand how we can automate moral reasoning. Automating moral reasoning is what machine ethics does, and this is the main topic of our tutorial. And here we are looking in specifically into the first part, into the part of how to make sure there is no negative ethical impact on society, and when introducing AI into it, and what do we study in this area. As of today, and there are more than 20 books under a very skeptical count devoted to AI ethics. DBLP, the Computer Science Bibliography Service, indexes more than 4,000 publications on some topic of ethics and computational computer science or morality, based on the title, because you can't really search for abstracts in DBLP. There are several new journals, workshops, and conferences that have been created to accommodate publications in AI ethics. There's more than 120 guidelines in AI ethics from all over the world. This paper reports on crowdsourced collection of more than 200 courses on ethics and technology. The author studied 115 syllabi from the crowdsourced courses, observing a high frequency of topics that such as law, policy, privacy, surveillance, inequality, justice, human rights, social and environmental impact. They were looking to see whether there is what do people teach when they teach AI ethics, and to call this a consensus is a little bit of a stretch. People teach all kinds of things. Hagendorf and Jobin et al. They were looking specifically of the topics of the AI ethics guidelines. So they're not research, just the guidelines, trying to identify what are people concerned about when they're building these guidelines. And explicitly, Jobin et al. Observe a convergence around the ethical principles of transparency, justice, fairness, non-maleficence, responsibility, and privacy. Now, why am I taking you to this guided tour of who publishes what in AI ethics? This is because we're trying to identify what are the actual main subfields of AI ethics. Now, this is an impossible task in many regards, because this is a field that has existed barely 5 years, but looking at research in AI specifically, I think that we can, in addition to machine ethics, identify 7 subdisciplines in AI ethics that study different issues of ethical impact. And these subdisciplines, with perhaps one exception, typically to a greater or smaller extent refer to ethical impact of all algorithms and computation, not just AI. So what are these fields? This is explainability, explainable AI. This is the one that caters directly to AI, not to all algorithms. Accountability, transparency, responsible AI, privacy, and fairness and bias. They're together because fairness is sometimes seen as an absence of bias. Let us start with the one that binds them all, and that is accountability. Accountability is a relationship between an actor and a forum in which the actor has an obligation to explain and to justify his or her conduct, and the forum can pose questions and pass judgment, and the actor may face consequences with respect to their behavior that is subject to the account. Now, if the subject of this accountability relationship is not the behavior of the actor or the conduct of the actor, but the behavior and the conduct of an algorithm, then we are talking about algorithmic accountability. I now see that I failed to include the source of this excerpt, this quote, but I'm going to point you in the right direction. So there is this paper, What to Account for When Accounting for Algorithms, a systematic literature review on algorithmic accountability by Maranke Vieringa. And you can find the source of this particular quote in the paper. And this is the paper you need to read if you are interested in what is going on in algorithmic accountability. Transparency, in contrast or compared to accountability, basically can be defined as the availability of information about an actor, allowing other actors, namely the forum, to monitor the workings or performance of this actor. In other words, transparency is about information related both to outcomes and procedures used by an actor, and it is relational, involving the exchange of information between the actor who is in the accountability relationship and the forum. This excerpt is from a paper, rather a chapter, the Transparency chapter by Nicholas Diakopoulos in the Oxford Handbook of Ethics of AI. And if you want to know more about what's going on in transparency, this is the place where you need to go. Explainability is about making sure that we can, when the machines decide everything by themselves and talk among themselves, we can know what's going on. That's a joke. Bad one. Actually, explainability is about the problem of how do we generate this account that the actor is giving to the forum. How can we automatically, specifically generate this account from the algorithm that is subject to the algorithmic accountability. Algorithmic explainability, or AI explainability specifically, actually is one of the oldest and more clearly defined fields of AI ethics. It has, the term itself comes from a DARPA program that was established in 2017. And initially, they defined the explainable AI program with aims to create a suite of machine learning techniques that produce more explainable models while maintaining a high level of learning performance, this is prediction accuracy specifically here, and enable human users to understand, appropriately trust, and effectively manage the emerging generation of artificially intelligent partners. Now, at the beginning, explainability was specifically focused with machine learning, but that has changed to encompass pretty much all algorithms right now. So DARPA now defines explainable AI as AI systems that can explain their rationale to a human user, characterize their strengths and weaknesses, and convey an understanding of how they will behave in the future operations. Now, if you want to read just one paper that gives a very nice general overview, everything in one place on what explainable AI is about today, then I would recommend you to this paper by Gunning and Explainability can be accomplished in one of three ways specifically, and not all of them are available for all types of algorithms. So this is what we do when we do explainability today. First, explainability can be considered a design feature of an algorithm, so it can be accomplished through transparency, if you like. Next, explainability can be accomplished by an algorithm that backtracks its own work to extract justifications or reasons to each decision it takes. And lastly, explainability can also be accomplished by a second algorithm that creates interpretations of the decisions or the choices that the first algorithm, the one that is subject of the accountability relationship, has made. Now, if there is more to explainability than just extracting explanations. There is also, one needs to understand what it means to explain something to a particular forum. And if you want to know more about explainable AI, HK is collocates with the longest running event in explainable AI, that is the Explainable AI workshop. And specifically, there is also a tutorial I saw on logic-enabled verification and explanation of ML models that might be interested for you who are interested specifically in explainability. We talk a little bit about verification in this tutorial as well, so you will be all set to follow this other tutorial. All right, moving on to the topic of responsible AI. Responsible AI is concerned with ensuring that the forum has power over the actor in the algorithmic accountability relationship. Now, out of all of the subfields, if you like, of AI ethics, responsible AI is the most complicated one because it touches upon many, many different disciplines apart from AI, including law and AI, for example. And so I'm going to do a cheeky thing, and instead of trying to make a half-baked attempt to kind of include as much as possible, I will point you to a bunch of slides I have prepared for my master students of last semester, in which there are a lot of mentions of resources on responsible AI. If you want to read the book instead of a bunch of slides, then you can do worse then looking at the Responsible AI book by Virginia Dignon. And I have noticed that there exists this tutorial also at this event at HK, AI Ethics in Multi-Agent Systems. I'm not entirely sure what this will cover. I'm looking forward to it. This may touch upon AI, responsible AI, but maybe it talks about what we talk about in social choice and machine ethics a little bit later on. We'll find out. All right, so the algorithmic accountability is established so that we can ensure a particular behavior from the actor as governed by the form, and it has as a goal to ensure that, specifically algorithmic accountability has as a goal to ensure that an algorithm satisfies certain desirable properties. There are two properties that are explicitly considered in AI ethics that are given special attention, and this is the property of fairness and the property of privacy. Now, fairness, this is perhaps not the best illustration, is concerned with making sure that the algorithm works more or less the same for more or less all of the people that are using or are in contact with this algorithm. Now, here I have been luckily saved from preparing a lot of material because there is the Fair AI in a Nutshell tutorial that follows us. And you will, I'm sure, learn very important, interesting things about what is going on in Fair AI. This is a very hot topic right now, so it's well worthwhile exploring it further. The second particular property of algorithms we want to ensure is that of privacy. I've used here this meme in which I think a Moroccan TV station is trying to protect the identity of the interviewee, but then forget about it and protect the interview. When they try to protect the identity of another interviewee. So I think it illustrates very well what algorithmic privacy is trying to accomplish in AI ethics. That is that an algorithm does not accidentally or deliberately leak information about people and thus harming them. It is not supposed to do so. The key concept that we talk about when we talk about about privacy in AI ethics is differential privacy. And let me just point you to what I have found the most elegant, if you like, and low energy, low effort introduction, what the differential privacy is. That is the first or the second chapter of this book. But what I do want to mention here at the end is that we do speak of privacy in other areas of computer science. We speak of privacy in cryptography. And the privacy in AI ethics is a different concept than the privacy that is used in cryptography. In AI ethics, privacy is a value that we are trying to uphold. Whereas in cryptography, privacy is a particular property of algorithms that are safe from intrusion. So the specific definition of these two concepts in cryptography, I think, more or less clear, but in AI ethics, privacy is a very fluid concept that is really not very well defined, and there is a lot of new work that is coming out here that is a little bit perhaps too new to be pointed to as, okay, this is the definitive source that you should be looking at when you're looking at privacy in AI ethics. Right, so this was the general tour of the landscape of AI ethics. So how do we try to control the ethical impact of algorithms in general and AI in particular? Next, what we're going to look at is the specific approach that we're concerned about to AI ethics, that is machine ethics. You will have Louise for the next part of this tutorial.